Hey, welcome to the Integrate This EdTech podcast. We are continuing our Tech in 10 series, and one of the things that Jeremy already took us through was a broad overview of what you can find on the Notebook LM platform and all the different pieces that are integrated into there, and particularly the studio, where for the remainder of our videos, we're going to break down the different things that you'll find in Studio and how those work, and maybe some examples on that. So right now we're going to actually start with looking at audio and video. And I wanted to shift gears a little bit and just look at how might this be used, not just in teaching, but maybe from like a superintendent point of view. So one of the things that we saw that Jeremy took us through in the overview is that when you create a new notebook, right away it pushes you into the sources, and you're going to have where this window will open up and you'll click on Google Drive, and then now it will open up a window that will provide you with your different things that are found in your drive. I'm just in, you can kind of see here it pops up, and then you can navigate as if you're in Drive itself. But then if we're in the recents, what we can do is, we can pull in a document. So for this example, I'm going to use this superintendent staff memo. And so maybe what this is an example of where you could use the audio overview. I've got one generated here, and this one is for strategic plan support. And so this one, it kind of basically brought in our source, which we can always browse and look through. So you have kind of like your information about the source. Then you have the source in its totality below, where you can look at that as if you were in the doc itself. Because over here, like within my drive, right, I have that document already created. And so the nice thing about these sources is that ability to look at it here. And then, within the middle part, that's where we're kind of working with the different or the conversation that's going on. And you can pull in the tools from here. But this is really where we're spending our time and creating these different resources. And you'll see here that there's already an audio source that's been loaded into this. Um, so I had already clicked on the audio overview, and just to show you, right, what'll happen is as it goes into the studio, it starts to generate that. And then when it is actually loaded in fully, this is what you're going to get. And then you've got a few options here. One of them is to click the more button, and you'll see like options for renaming it. So if we click rename, we can get rid of this and totally change it if we want to. We can download it. So this will go to our downloads. Okay, and then other than download, you have the share option. Now, one of the things that you should be aware of is that if I type Jeremy in here, it's going to give me this sharing outside your organization is not supported. So I'm only going to be able to share within my at SWWC domain. So if I want to share with my colleague Kyle, I can do that, and I can make him a viewer, editor, or can remove access if I want to. Okay, and then if you want to, you can delete it. Otherwise, you can go ahead and play it.
Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are tearing into a really interesting document. It's a 4-year blueprint. It's called the Strategic Plan Snapshot, and it runs from 2025 to 2028.
Right.
So our mission today is to, pull out the core priorities, the actual measurable targets, and really get the...
Okay, so you could listen to that, and then you could distribute it as well. I like this for the memo option that I showed earlier too, because like if you wanted to send that to your staff as a superintendent, you could, like a little weekly memo type thing. You have a couple options here under this more, where you have the download share is there as well, but then you can change the playback speed if you want to. You can give it a good discussion or bad discussion. It's like a feedback tool for this being created, or you can close the audio player. The other thing, and I won't open this up, but you can play around with this interactive mode. Essentially, what happens is it'll start playing the podcast. But what's interesting is when you click on it, there's this once you start playing it, there's a little join option. And this is interesting because it allows you to interrupt the podcast and like say something to the podcast host and then get a response. So it's almost like if you think of, how you're using the voice feature on, say, ChatGPT or Google Gemini, it's allowing you to start that within an already created podcast, which is kind of fascinating because it has the context of what the podcast was centered around, and then you can interact with it as well. So that's something that could be a fun thing to play around with and try on your own. But that was added to the pod or the audio overview option. Additionally, I'll just show this briefly as well. Is we looked at the superintendent option for that. The other thing too is when it comes to uh, teaching materials. So I'll show you this William Shakespeare. You have this complete works, and in this is I did not make this. This was shared with me, and this has a bunch of studio sources that were already created. And the reason I like it though is because here you have like your audio.
Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we plunge into dense information to pull out the most compelling insights. Imagine you're preparing for a meeting, but instead of corporate strategy, our mission today is to navigate the dramatic landscapes of three of William Shakespeare's most renowned tragedies.
Okay, so you'll have the audio stuff there. One thing that you can kind of see that it's based on three sources from over here. And then the other one you have is you have this Hamlet explained. This is where it gets into the video overview side. And this is something where it will take the sources that you've provided and it will create a video overview for
You
you.
know, for over 400 years, one play has pretty much defined the very idea of tragedy. It's a ghost story, it's a detective story, and it's a bloody tale of revenge that has absolutely captivated the world.
Okay, so this was constructed by NotebookLM through the video overview. If we go forward a little bit here,
Only grabbed the throne, but is
you're going to see
a
different
rot that's hanging over.
sorry, it keeps playing, but you have different slide pieces that will come up. And we're not going to watch the entire 9 minutes
His
here,
father.
but you can at least see the various pieces that are built into the video overview. And so this is something that you could try as a teacher or as a superintendent. There's lots of contexts in which you could use this and apply either the audio overview or the video overview. If we were to do this for one that we've already got, like something like this, it's going to operate the same way. You're just going to either click the audio overview or the video overview, and it will start to load that in and generate that. In this one, I've got one for Alexander and the terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day. And so this is all some things that you could try, and you have those two options, audio and video, available to you. So I encourage you to try them out. They're a lot of fun. You'll be surprised by what it comes up with and the interactions that you can have with it, and then distributing that as well to students or to staff members.